It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 19. I'm going to skip to start at verse 14. It says, The Lord Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or the tail, branch, or rush may do. Verse 16, In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over it. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to called Loyim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Arachak, double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim.
Which side do you have to get on 116?
Salakia. Shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and all glory to called Loyim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Arachak, double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And this popped up on my news break app, and through the Spirit, I felt it a newsworthy topic to be brought out through the scriptures, because all this that appears in the news can be filtered, and basically scriptures can apply to it. Is if you have a spiritual eye, That being said, it's spiritual because, like I may mention, the brother Bakar Mafa, the Men of Valor, has been going in on the food shortage lately. I've been going in on the inflation, and I said that because of what's going on, because the Fed is trying to check the inflation, they're going to have to raise interest rates, and being that they're raising interest rates, that's going to affect these companies operating, staying in business, and we seeing that now. So as you can see, again, because they're raising the interest rates, and these companies that was already kind of doing bad because of the fact that they had to shut down, and the supply chains are all disrupted and whatnot, because from what I hear, you got two different sides of stories, opposing stories. You got people that's actually have businesses. They say the supply chain has been corrected to a degree, but it's not like a physical chain on this thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's an invisible chain because things move in a certain order. And at the end of the day, that's been disrupted. You know what I mean? You got a lot of truckers they're striking. So just based on that, I know the supply chain is broken. But, anyhow, that being said, this article's out of Business Insider, says a wave of layoffs is sweeping the U.S. Here are firms that have announced cuts so far, from Penn Lawton to Wells Fargo. It says in the first few months of 2022, a wave of layoffs swept across American businesses. Now, this hasn't been reported like that. This is the first time I've heard of layoffs. You know what I mean? I don't watch the local news anymore. I used to get offended based on the fact that, they could be sitting up there smiling, the news anchors and casters really so proud and arrogant, like they really, like entertainers, like they really thinking they superstars because they're on TV. And that's what that boob tube does. I remember my dad used to call it the idiot box. But then he, had all the movie channels and whatnot. But again, I can see why now, when like certain brothers is into movies. I'm one of those brothers that's into music. music and movies and whatnot. All that has a spiritual aspect to it. Some brothers aren't. At the end of the day, for the most part, if you have a spiritual eye, you can see, the spiritual aspect in a lot of things. That's why, like the brother Bakar Amaf again, he broke down the Lion King so eloquently because of the fact that at the end of the day, Lion King is a very spiritual movie if you can look at it and receive it with a spiritual eye. Back to the article, it says the cuts stem from slower business growth paired with rising labor costs because of inflation. Even major tech companies like Facebook, parent company Meta, are facing contractions. They just started that. But, the Lord funny, though. Layoffs are sweeping across America businesses in the first few months of 2022. We just get into the month of May. Now, that ain't the first few months. So that means it's been going on, and they just wasn't reporting it like that. Because, the first few months, the first few is like 2 or 3. A couple is 2, a few is 3. So we are in the 5th month. 6th month will be June, this half of the year. And they already, like the brother brought out, he's saying within 6 months we could be facing food shortages of basically no food. That would leave you at roughly November. And that would be a dark winter indeed. It says recent startups like Peloton have already laid off thousands of employees this year. Call her lawyer, like, y'all, but should be outside. Because it's the Lord Yahweh should be outside making known his word. He said these things was going to happen. Like I just brought out in that Isaiah, there shall be no work for Egypt. And then, that scripture can go into, 2nd Ezra 15, which we're living parts of that right now. About man sparing none because of the lack of bread and great tribulation, having no pity upon his neighbor. Because when people go without money and a means to support themselves, they revert to crime. It says the reason broadly is twofold. Business growth is slowing while labor costs are increasing. The combination is causing American companies across a variety of industries to slash headcount. Here are some of the most notable examples so far. And with that is going to be a spiritual aspect to it because, like, the last job I just had, literally, you had, we were working a ghost crew. So the first shift had, like, twice as many people as we had, probably almost 3 times. So we were expected to run the same line with less people. So it meant that more of us would literally have to do more jobs. We would have to do 2 and 3 jobs. And then it wasn't a shift differential or whatnot. So what is that going to lead to? A high turnover rate, because people are not going to work jobs like that. People are already frustrated with life. We were just bringing that out recently. People got this going. A guy that I work with that I was mentioning about the 2/3 guy. Even the spiritual, though, like the Lord must have said something to him. So I'm trying to debate or do I tell him the truth? Because, I've been burnt with casting pearls before swine, and they going back telling Esau and all that. That's funny shit. But, I knew that was Esau. That's showing you how, like the elder said, he told Amalek that he was a real Israelite, and Amalek respected him and still let him work. Because the Lord is, it say, how did the scripture go? If you right with the Lord, your enemies shall be at peace with you, roughly paraphrase. So, all that time I work it, and the only reason why I got fired for real is because the Lord had put the spirit on me to say or to do something, and literally, like, I fired myself. Truth of the matter, which I kind of found funny, because I was intending to quit before I got fired, but without getting fired, I wouldn't have knew that these people were really the devil. But not to digress, because that's a whole nother thing, but these Edomites is really the devil. Talking about just smiling in your face the whole time. This demon fucking doing some. How could you do that? Like, if I don't like you, I don't want to be around you. That's why I agree, like, we supposed to be separated from these people. A 2/3 nigga, if I'm not into what you're into, or somebody I have animosity against, I don't want to be around you. I want to be away from you. Master P made a statement like that. He like, shit, if it's some bad blood or bad business, or you feel like I got over on you, or you feel some kind of way about something, I'd rather get you out the way by paying you off, giving you your money. He was like, that's at the end of the day, why you think all the people that his artists really couldn't say too much about him. He was like, because I paid them off. I gave them their money and sent them on their way. If you don't want to be around me, don't be around me. But you got some people that get off on drama, and you know what I mean, like, just Salakia though. It says, here are some of the most notable examples so far. Better about 4,000 people, starting in 2021 and continuing through the first several months of 2022. Mortgage startup Better.com laid off approximately 4,000 people. Garage told employees during a Zoom call that the company lost $100 million last quarter, which he said was my mistake. Then he said the layoff shouldn't have happened right before the holiday, but 3 months ago. I think that's the guy that they said laid off everybody through a Zoom meeting. The weight loss app maker Noom recently laid off hundreds of coaches, insiders report. The company, through its app of the same name, pairs dieting with personal coaches to achieve weight loss for users. That probably was a pretty nifty idea. They were setting a trend with that, because everybody want to utilize this technology. They don't, instead of actually having to go to a physical gym, you actually have a technology, an app where you can actually speak to an actual person. That makes it beneficial for the actual coach or the trainer and for the individual, because you could be at an office, you could be a CEO, you could be a general manager, somebody, and on your spare time actually do your training without having to leave the premises, But, because the will of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, he said it will be no work for Egypt, he's making these things pass. Because it tells you in the scriptures that the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahshua is a man that he cannot lie. So all these things that's written thereof shall come to pass. It says, it said they laid off 2,800. In February, Peloton fired over 2,800 people, including 20% of its corporate workforce. That's the first time I heard that, because usually corporate be the last ones to lose their jobs. They took out some of their corporate off the drip because of an ongoing downturn in the company's business. Peloton faced a major setback after home fitness products spiked in popularity during the height of the coronavirus pandemic in 2020. With gyms reopening as vaccination rates increased, Peloton business took a huge hit. The company's market value has dropped from $50 billion. God damn. That's what I say. Like they setting the stage for a lot of people going to embrace this technology. I was listening to the brother. He went into the elder brother Amawan Gabar. He went into that video about it's ready. It's here basically, because you got a company that's basically been already approved to actually deal with the MOTB. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's a pretty long article. Oh, Robinhood, I'm familiar with that. AMC, and while new users piled in during the pandemic, Robinhood hired rapidly. Between 20 and 21, Robinhood staff grew dramatically from 700 people to around 3,800, according to CEO Vlad Tenev. But that growth was apparently too much and too fast, and Robinhood was forced to slash headcount about 9%, more than 300 people altogether. So this is a very long article, which I'm pretty much done with. Cause, I would like to read. Okay, it says, even Facebook parent company Meta is enhancing a hiring freeze. Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg on stage during the annual Facebook F8 developer conference in San Jose, California, says for the rest of the year, Facebook parent company Meta has paused hiring new engineers, a rare move for the social media engineer. That's according to an internal memo shared with Insider. So, at the end of the day, you see it that the Most High has actually, and to show you how this devil works and manipulates stuff, when has the local news touched on any of this? They touch on a lot of the same stories over and over. And I saw that in the world before I even came into the truth. It used to frustrate me. I'm like, damn, it's something happening every day. Why are they just repeating the same stories? Monday you hearing something, they still harping on it by Thursday. I knew then that they wasn't giving you all the news. But that being said, let me get this book of Ecclesiastes, because like I said, again, the scriptures foretold that it's going to be a lack of work. And that lack of work is going to cause desperate hard times, and that's going to cause violence, and that is going to cause these devils to actually come in with their agenda, their plan, that order out of chaos, that order out of chaos. This is the book of Salakia. This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12, beginning at verse 1. It says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." So you're supposed to come to basically doing the work of the Lord at a young age. You're supposed to. That's why it talks about in the book of Deuteronomy, basically, put this into your children. You're supposed to instill this into your children. Scriptures talk about train up a child in the way they should go, and they shall not depart. So if a child knew this actual truth, like the elder Malcolm said, he said, he instilled the truth into his children, one of his sons that's in the truth now. And he was saying how like fervent he was about it, like to the point where he would bring out history, and the teachers actually would sit up there and battle with him, to the point where one of the teachers had to pull him to the side and like, you're right. But that's proving that that this is a controlled curriculum. That's just showing you how schools are really buildings of indoctrination. If it's not going along with their narrative, I remember at one point in time I was led to believe that there wasn't really even any slave revolts where we just went ahead, our forefathers went ahead and just was pussyfied and just so weak to the situation that they just went on and just humbled down and took what they. No, you know how many slavery revolts it was? But all of them basically was quenched and never got to where they supposed to got to, because it was all the will of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. A lot of them actually, I think majority of them, all of them, like Jake ended up telling on them. You know what I mean? Which, although it tells you the scriptures, their tongues shall fall upon themselves, Esau, Edom. And that's what we use when these devils get to exposing each other or exposing the elites, their tongue falling upon each other because they telling on themselves. But our people would do it during slavery. I remember, what was his name? Jim Brown, the abolitionist, that was alive around the time of Frederick Douglass, that did the slave revolt in Harper's Ferry, and him and his family. I believe he was a Jake, because basically he was in the spirit of trying to basically start a revolution to free Jake. He looked like an Edomite, but when you go into him, like read about him, he had a whole huge ass family like a Jake. He was real poor like a Jake. You know what I mean? Like, it was just certain things. I'm like, spiritually, this probably was Jake. You know what I mean? But anyhow, so you're supposed to come to the truth at a young age. That's just like you as a man. You don't want a woman after she all used up in Babylon. You supposed to want a virgin, a pure woman, a young, doo-wop. You know what I mean? Fuck, the Babylon convince you. That's what it talks about in scriptures, the book of Isaiah, the Isaiah 29, about the turning the things upside down. Like, only Babylon can convince you that you want a vet, you want a bitch that you want a Kim Kardashian or Chloe or her sister, them hoes that been ran through by other men, bust all in. These women got kids, all kind of shit. And then I try to tell my demon that she got frustrated. The demon jumped on her. That's not true. I'm like, this coming from basically the research of a female. With a man, like I think it was the elder Malcolm. It was either the elder Malcolm or the elder Matazakbach from Carolina, and he was going into how, these women, where they basically like they was showing a video with a doctor. I know the elder Apostle Gabar went into it as well. But when a man releases his semen into a woman, that semen stays in there for years. You know what I mean? Partly to show you how bugged out a female is. That's why these men's spirits be on them. If they semen still in them, you got a goofy ass woman still talking about her ex. My demon used to do that shit. Many women I've dealt with, I've never had a woman do that shit. That's how I knew it was spiritual. Well, I figured that it was spiritual afterwards. I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Out of all the women I got with this woman and put seed in her and this woman, I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? And it really didn't piss me off like that. I mean, I check her and, I could tongue lash. You know what I mean? I could say something smart that'll piss her off more than trying to hit her. You know, I don't believe in hitting women. Now, if you hit me, yeah, I'm gonna try to restrain you and I'm gonna stop you from hitting me. And if you get hurt in the process of that, the fuck? You know, I find it funny again, like in Babylon the Great, a woman, like you got to go through a whole thing. It's off if you protect yourself from a woman fucking you up. But you could go and get in a ring with a woman and say you a woman and beat the dog shit out of a woman, and that's okay. To turn the things upside down, really. Oh, you got to say you a woman too, and then that's we can clearly see you a man, but you feel like a woman today. Like that one Jake proved that point over in the UK and was like he's a woman for the day just to break a record to show them women no matter how strong you think you is, bitch, you ain't gonna never be as strong as me. Then after he broke the record, said, nah, I feel like a man again. I'm a man. Just proving a point how backwards this shit is. Salakia. It says, verse 2, right while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, before that day of destruction come. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble and the strong men shall bow themselves and the grinders cease, meaning those jobs. And like I said, the article brings out that these jobs, they land people off silently. And that's going to happen more and more frequently. Because like I said, again, when you got this inflation kicking in and the price of goods, everything is going up. Everything from food, clothing, vehicles. Like I said, they say use vehicles right now. And I'll be very upset. So any brother that's listening, I suggest if you're trying to get a vehicle, don't go to no lot. I mean, if you can, avoid it. I mean, like you can, like right now they're trying to get people in the car. So, but my suggestion is save us some money and go to a auction. Because basically that's what these car lots do it. So cut the middleman out. If you might luck up and get something, you know what I mean? Fuck the middleman. You know, I just went through a situation with my truck. You know, he put like $3,000 in his truck. You know what I mean? I'm so hesitant on going to go get a car note because like the brother Bakar Moff was saying, literally, it's going to come to a time where what you're going to be doing. You're going to be catching the bus or you're going to be paying this car note. You're going to be eating or driving. You know what I mean? Best believe when these leases up, all our rent's about to go up. Because if they're not going to be able to check this inflation. So I pray y'all about Shimmy shall this be the year, you know, that all hell break loose. Verse it says, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. So again, that going to them jobs when there's few jobs. And like I said, when there's few jobs, what happens? Crime goes up. More people get high or get drunk. That's why during the pandemic, they actually extended the hours of the liquor stores. Because they knew people was depressed. You can't work. Certain jobs you couldn't work. You know, like I said, show you some bullshit, showing how these people really laughing in people's face. How the fuck is a restaurant, McDonald's job essential, but then you had country sitting up here talking about the grocery store is not? Now, that's just some totalitarian shit in itself. I forgot what country it was. I want to say it was New Mexico, a city of New Mexico. But saying all that to say this, you know, and it was a video of a female Jake that was up there all distraught, crying, boo-hooing, all on social media because she up there like basically she had the opportunity to get a job, but because of the fact that she couldn't get ID, she said, how the fuck is, and then she pointed with her camera and showed a restaurant, I think it was like Popeyes or something. She was like, how the fuck is this essential? But where you go get your BMV, where you get your ID that you need to actually be able to actually, like you supposed to have a law in this land is to have ID. You got to prove who you are. But that wasn't essential. This shit a big ass joke. It says, he shall rise at grinding is low. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grind is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And we always go into the daughters of music brought low. If you pay attention to the music right now, the music is garbage. I rarely catch a song that I want to listen to. That's why it's beautiful if you got the opportunity to hear the brothers in the spirit singing and rapping about Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. I mean, it's, every once in a while you hear some good music, but that's few and far between. Like, especially to me, you know, the hip hop. Well, it ain't no such thing as hip hop anymore. The rap music is just straight demonic. Majority of the R&B is all they talking about is adultery and fucking. In a time where, when you being beat up, you gonna have to deal with your frustration some kind of way. It got to be released. So that's why, when we served rigor in Egypt, we multiplied so vastly because of the fact when Jake catch a hell, what they do? They start, they pop. They get some kobah. You know what I mean? But, at the end of the day, right now, if you in the right mindset, you ain't thinking about no pussy for real. Like, I said, just like if she in the right mindset, she ain't thinking about no sex. She should be thinking about how the fuck she gonna feed her kids. So, what we coming into is some serious times, and like it read in Ecclesiastes, remember thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. Well, Ezekiel says, this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord, Yahweh, came unto me saying, verse 2, also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto the land of Israel, talking to his people. And the end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense, meaning repay, or reward. And when you go into the word reward, it's a recompense. It's basically a payment. And a payment or reward is not always a good thing. You could be rewarded evil. That's why Yahweh Shah says in the book of Revelations about my reward is with me. So he's going to reward those that was righteous, and he's going to reward the unrighteous. And I don't smoke, sweetie. It says, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. Verse 4, and my eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee. He's going to repay you for what you brought out. That's why it talks about, where is that at? Where it talks about according to thy works. So if your works were wicked, you're going to be paid wicked with wickedness or evil. And if your works was righteous, you're going to be repaid with righteousness or blessings. That's why it talks about storing up your treasures in heaven. Like gold and silver, it tells you in the book of Ezekiel, they're going to cast their gold and silver in the streets. That's going to be to naught. You can't eat a piece of gold. You might can barter with it, but if you don't have a real economy in place, you might have gold or you might have something of value, but if you have nobody to barter it with, the fuck is the value it is? Some food will be of more value. A pistol will be of more value in that day because at least you could take food from a motherfucker. You know what I mean? But then, like I say, the brother from Mississippi was going into that. It talks about give me not riches nor not poverty. Because if you got poverty, it might make you steal or commit crimes to live. And then where's the faith? We about to come into times where we're have to so wholeheartedly basically wait on the Lord. It tells you in the book of Habakkuk that the just shall live by his faith. Verse 4, and my eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, return thy ways, reward thy ways, and thy abominations shall be in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Verse 5, thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, evil, and only evil behold is come. Verse 6, and end is come, the end is come, it watching for thee, behold, it is come. So we coming into them times of evil, meaning bad times. Like I said, you got these jobs about to be few. You got this food, coming food shortages. You got the inflation kicking in. That's a multitude of things, and it makes me always think of Psalms 119 and 126. The Lord shall work because they have made void thy law. It's time for thee to work because they have made void thy law. And the Lord is working. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is working. If you can't see that, then the Lord really is not dealing with you, and he may be trying to destroy you. Or not trying to, because if he wants to, he will. Now, if he wants you to get it, he can wake you up. It's going to be a lot of 11th hour servants, that's going to come into this thing at the last hour. And, it's more in here, but that's the point. You can see this Jacob's trouble actually being prepared. They setting up this narrative to come against the men of the Lord, which we've always, if you a man in this truth, you have had to consider that, or otherwise you was playing with this thing. If you don't realize that it's going to be a consequence for doing this truth, but it's going to be a reward as well, then you ain't really in the truth. I was listening to the brother Murph from GMS Chicago, and he made a statement. He said, we not in this thing to be the best fathers or the best husbands or the Playboy of the year. Everything takes discernment. The Lord might grant a brother a bone. Like the brother from Mississippi was just speaking on Lahab, and Lahab, and he was saying how at the end of the day, he was just going into how we giving. The Lord might give us certain things, and it might put a smile on his face, but he might hold back certain things from us as well. Because if you had certain things, you might not be in the spirit. Now, like say, I can't say what another man should be able to do. Certain things I thought brothers was going off on, literally, but if the Lord ain't correct them or do anything, then who's am I to say is going off? A brother know when the Lord talking to you or when you going off for real, because we all know how I feel to be judged, or when you done went off, you feel bad about it, you be damn, So at the end of the day, but you need to truly examine yourself, That's speaking to myself first and foremost. I might not be chasing women or drinking too much right now, but I might not be brotherly enough. You know what I mean? I might, there's always constant room for improvement. And like I said, the times is getting detrimentally serious. Like this truth is detrimental to our well-being, us and our households. Because, like I say, at the end of the day, if you are a man of the Lord, your household is going to be saved through you. You are that hedge. But the scriptures talk about where there's no hedge, there's no protection. So, that being said, Jacob's trouble is being prepared and it's coming. You can see it. And more coming calamities is coming. So, that evil is come. So if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim, like Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rachagadas. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Yakim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Shalom.